Welcome to Beyond Sunday from Schweitzer Church. I'm Pastor Jason, and today we're in studio with Hannah Knopf. And Hannah is here to talk about the Green Team. Hannah is a part of a whole bunch of people with their names on plaques, and they do some fun stuff. So, Hannah, why don't you tell us what the Green Team does?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Jason.
Yeah.
I have been a part of the Green Team for a few years now. I met with Sheila and showed some interest in getting involved, and we sort of facilitated what gardens I would be a part of. And so as part of the Green Team, it's my job to help maintain the landscaping and gardens that we have on campus here. And from there, she kind of lets me do whatever my creative will asks, and I get to plant new landscaping and maintain it. And it's really a blast. I love it.
Do you get to do all the gardens on campus, or are they some of the gardens, or how does that work?
Yeah, so from my understanding is we get to choose which garden we're most interested in and would like to maintain. And so we are designated to a certain area. We're always able to help on other gardens as needed, but we're mostly designated to one specific or however many we're interested and capable of maintaining.
Do you have an idea about how many people make up the Green Team?
I think there's about 10 of us total among all of the gardens we have on campus here. A few people maintain multiple, but I think there's really about 10, which meets about one per one garden.
Okay. What are some of the fun things that you like to put in the plots that you oversee?
Yeah, so I actually work at Wheeler Gardens part-time. I just love playing in the dirt and have a green thumb. And so being that my husband and I still live in an apartment, any opportunity I get to be in the soil, I'm all about it. So I love to put in any kind of perennial flowering plants that are going to bring those pollinators and butterflies on Schweitzer's campus. Everyone and all the kids love to see those. So pulling those in. I do the flower pots outside the sanctuary, the main entrance A here on campus. And there I like to put colorful annuals or just something that speaks to the season of that we're in and the colors. And Easter, I like to do something springy, and summer, I like to do something bright. So it's fun to get to be creative and pull in new things every year.
You mentioned two words that as somebody who does a little bit of gardening, I think I may have an understanding of, but maybe somebody out there doesn't. You mentioned perennials and annuals.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell the novices among us the differences between perennials and annuals?
Yes, this is a question I get often over at Wheeler's, but the perennial plant is a plant that you would plant in the ground, and it will die off over the winter and it'll come back for you in the spring. So it's something that will return year after year, whereas the annual, meaning 1 year, only live for that season.
Okay, so a good example of a perennial would be like a tulip bulb? No?
Bulbs actually are hit or miss. Some of them
Okay.
will only last for 4 years or so. But as you know, there are many historic bulbs that will last many seasons beyond that. So that's a tricky question. That gets down to the variety of the bulb you're asking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's a good example of a perennial?
Sure. So a shrub, you see the boxwoods and arborvitaes that we have all around campus. A tree is a perennial. Some of our flowers, native flowers, are perennials like coneflowers, also known as echinacea. Our azalea bushes, our philodendrons. I'm naming all these things that you don't seem to know.
No, that's really awesome. It's like those are really cool things. Good.
Yeah, so those will be perennials, and then annuals will be more like petunias or geraniums, kind of the classic, bright and flowery things that live for the summer.
That brighten the whole summer up.
Yes.
Make things pretty.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for that little lesson within gardening.
Sure.
If somebody was interested in being a part of the Green Team, how would they go about getting on it and being a part of that?
So I think there's many ways that you can get involved through the connection cards that we have at church, but also my story is I just reached out to Sheila and said, hey, I noticed some flowers around campus, could maybe use some help, and I love working in the garden, so if there's anything I can do to help. And she was like, yeah, right on. Let's get you signed up and designated to a garden. So Sheila's always very welcoming and kind and open to creativity. So I would recommend if you want to speak with someone face-to-face to approach Sheila about that.
Okay. And then the Green Team I've noticed that they've got these little plaques on their garden spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to check out where your garden, your particular stuff is at, we just need to look for your name on a plaque, right?
Yes, but in theory, because I don't actually have a plaque.
What?
I'm kind of the floater of the green team. So I've been the helper and the instigator of some new plantings. And we've been looking for some people to help maintain those plantings that we've done. So I just kind of help float and maintain where we're lacking.
Okay.
So
We'll have to talk about Sheila about getting you a plaque.
Yeah.
Maybe a big plaque or something like that.
That's not necessary.
I think maybe a little statue or something like that.
A fountain dedicated to me.
There you go. It's a good idea. I like it. Well, Hannah, thank you for coming in and for talking with us about the green team and the gardens. Bless you and all of the folks who are part of the green team. Thank you so much for helping beautify this campus and people's experience as they enter into worship and leave worship. Thanks for your part.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. And friends, thank you for listening to this conversation, for tuning in. And if you would like to be a part of the green team, you can reach out to Sheila Pippin, Pastor Sheila, at spippin@schweitzer.church. And she'd love to connect with you. Until next time, when we get to see one another face to face, you have a great week.